Welcome to the Counteract YouTube channel. Thank you for joining us for this short video tutorial.
Hello everyone, this is Phil here and Felicity as well.
Hello.
And welcome to this webinar. What we're going to talk about this afternoon is CRM, Counteract CRM. And Felicity's going to do most of the talking, but I'm going to ask the odd question as we go along. It'll probably take about 35 minutes, this webinar, we reckon, maybe a little bit shorter. We are recording it as usual, so if you don't have a chance to listen to all of it, we'll put it up on our YouTube channel later on, probably tomorrow, by the time we get around to editing it and cutting out all the bad bits that go wrong. Anyway, so Felicity's going to start and see how we get on.
Yes, hello everyone. CRM, Customer Relationship Management, is found in your Sales Ledger menu under CRM Tools. And today we're going to be going through, basically we're going to be looking at maintain CRM details in terms of using that to monitor activity on key customers and to keep contact information for key customers, and also to keep information on customers so that you can create big lists and mail out to customers who maybe have bought something from you recently or haven't bought from you at all recently, all sorts of things like that. So we're going to be looking at maintain CRM details, review contact required, contact customers, and we'll have a quick look at the CRM activity report and the CRM management report. So when we first looked at this date, actually, I don't think we realised that most people, we certainly are deep in reviewing GDPR requirements.
Absolutely.
And I think this CRM database is a separate module really in the Counteract, so I think you probably need to think about it as such because it is kept separate from the Sales Ledger, as I'll explain in a moment. We can't give you much advice on GDPR information per se, but we've added a couple of things into the system to try and aid with that. If you're in the situation where you started using CRM some time ago and then stopped and you've got a load of old data in there you just want to clear out, we do have a program that we can run to just clear everything out so you can start again, so that might be worth remembering.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Maintain CRM details. Generally, the system, if you haven't used CRM before, is not updating contact details on this side. For instance, if I go and look at this customer here, I can see all their account details, and if I go into more information, where I can see all these things for a customer, I can go into financial, which is the main customer display screen, which we all know. And I can see that there are contacts here, there's a contact there, there's a contact there. But when I come out of there and I go into contacts on the CRM, those contacts aren't automatically there. We've done that on purpose because you might not be interested in having contacts recorded for every single customer on your system. Once you start using CRM, there is a control file that can be switched on to make sure that whenever you do add a new customer or change or add a new contact, it will add the contact into the customer.
On the CRM side? On
the CRM side,
right,
yes, yeah. Indeed. So you add it on the Sales Ledger side and it will automatically update. And in fact, yes. No, I won't say that. So this is one that is not actually on the CRM. However, one I prepared earlier, which has been on the CRM on our system for quite a while, is Philips D&P Chepstow. And so we've got all this information about their turnover. We've got the more information screen where we can drill down, we can look at their customer terms, quotes, we can search sales history, we can look at one product and see what the history of the sales are on that, and we can look at their general information. And also in this screen, this is where we will be setting up and maintaining contacts for that customer. So for each contact, we've got 4 contacts here, and this is the first one. And we've got the ability to store their name, telephone, mobile, a salutation if you're writing a letter to them, a mail merge type letter. You can put Dear Ms. Phillips if you wish, or Sue. The first name and surname are there partly because the CRM side of the system is being used to store contacts, not to add or maintain, but to store contacts for the business-to-business B2B web portal, where your customers can have a login to a portal to look at their invoices, credit notes, statements, to pay you. And for instance, this one says CRM only, and this chap here, he says both. And so as soon as we've got both, he's got, you're able to maintain him for CRM and for the portal. And there we are, that chap's both as well. I think it's in the portal side. The only reason I'm mentioning that specifically at that point is the portal side that requires the first name and the surname. So there we go. We've got the ability to say what their preferred method of contact is. So if they only want to receive emails, you can choose that. Here's where you record their email address. Remarks are just there so that if you're looking at this, you can find out more about them. And the matched contact gap is quite a useful one. Here we've got this contact set so that we want to be able to contact him roughly once a month. And so when we get to the review contacts required, if 30 days have gone past since we last had added any notepad, any information about or sent anything to this chap, then it would bring him up and say he needs to be contacted. Moving across here, we move on to codes. These are specific contact analysis codes. They can be absolutely anything. There can be up to 8 of them, and they can be absolutely anything you require on your system. This is just what we've got on our demonstration system. We're recording what sort of job title they have. And we are also making use of the new newly available in the next issue, 27B, subscribe flag, where this person has said yes, they do subscribe to receiving emails and other contact information from us. We also can set it to N. If you have an analysis code for subscribe in the next issue, you're going to be able to exclude anyone who's got that set to N from any mass emailings or extracts of any sort, which could be quite useful.
Certainly for the GDPR bit, isn't it, as well?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's why we've added it. Also,
and their preference will still be, so if they've said, oh, I'm happy to be emailed, that preference you put before, that's how they would be contacted, isn't it? As long as they said yes, subscribe. No. Oh, right.
No, it doesn't quite. What you can still do is you can still manually add an email. You can add contact information. You can maintain them, which I'm going to go on and show you in a minute.
Yeah.
But if you're doing a mass emailing or extract of any sort, in the contact customer option that we're going to look at, they will be excluded because they've said they don't want any sort of mass stuff, which might be awkward if you're wanting to send them something about, use the CRM for some other activity.
I think the codes bit, the ability to have those 8 codes for whatever you want is one of the really powerful, because you can group customers in any way you want then, can't you? Any way you want. And you'll all have ideas of how you might want to contact group customers together, isn't it?
Yeah, so this is grouping contacts together, but you've also got up here, you've got codes where you've got, this is per customer. So these are the codes that you've already got on your sales ledger. and I've got this system set so that as a person using CRM, I can't update those because some of those are specifically account ones.
Yeah.
You can have the system set so that anyone using CRM can update those. But these are specifically CRM customer ones. So here we've decided we can group our customers into different sectors. So that could be, sector A could be high spenders, sector B could be medium spenders.
Yeah.
You can do all sorts of things, classify your customers. And we've also added in, which we're not covering today, but it is a way, something else you can do, and I think we do have a leaflet on it if you're interested in more information on how you can use a CRM to sort of run a loyalty card scheme. Or to help you run a loyalty card scheme. So on the contacts, just one more thing, we've got those codes there. You just add them, you update them as you require. This home address is just something which I feel is a very niche requirement. One of our customers has some companies that they deal with that have masses of contractors, sort of self-employed contractors that come in, and they wanted to contact them via letter. And so they asked for a place to record a home address. I feel that's not really going to be generally popular. So that's all the information you can keep there. In this main screen, here we've got the beginnings of all the different contacts that have been had. So you can look at it, you can narrow that down, you can say, right, let's just look at contact for Charles Howard. And here we've done a general mailer. And if I click on the quick view button when I'm looking at these, it'll tell me what that was in more detail, when it was. And here we've got a conversation that's just been recorded, a telephone conversation. So you can either look at general notepads for the customer, specific things, or you can look at all, which is the default. You can also just say, right, okay, I'm only interested in the telephone calls that I've done. And so you can go and see those, click the quick view, and as I move through, I can see what those were about. And you can also, for your login, you can just say, I only want to see my notepads. I mean, one of the codes, actually, whilst I'm just thinking about it, is a general code is rep. And so it does lend itself to being able to see, maintain your own customers. You could also maybe, if you had different people looking after different contacts, you could have a rep contact thing. And you can. The thing is to understand a bit about how it's set up, and then just think about how you want to use it, CRM. So that's what this session is all about, showing you what's available. So main. So from here, I've also got an add button, and I can click on add, and I can add a general notepad for the customer. I can say that which I don't have a method for, and I can just put some notes in and put a reminder. Alternatively, I can choose the actual contact. I can say, right, okay, I've just had a telephone conversation with him, I've sent him a text message. You can also, if you choose email here, you can actually send an email from here and include attachments. And so you can put a subject, and you can decide whether you send it from a sales type email or from yourself. And you can check that the email address you've got there is correct and change it accordingly. You can put your words in there, and then having sent it, you can put a reminder in, and you say, right, by email, I want a reminder 31st of May. And you can save it. And
that's to follow up that contact. That reminder will come to.
And that reminder will come to me, as in the login demo. Here we are. Yeah, and in fact, yes, of course, the brand new feature that's throughout the whole system. I've forgotten. I could actually say, right, well, I want to send that to
someone else. Because I'm not here.
Yeah, that's right. Or myself and someone else.
Yeah.
And so that is available, that reminder, to different people. all over the place
Yeah.
where you can do reminders on the system.
Notepads throughout the system, isn't
You
it?
might
Yeah.
not have noticed that.
Yeah.
And I've obviously forgotten all about it temporarily. So if I save, that would actually email that off. So I'll just come out of here. But basically, that's all you can do on there, which is all quite useful. And you can move between customers with the arrow key. So that's maintaining CRM details. Review contact required allows you to use a screening query, and that lets you get a whole list of customers based on whatever criteria you choose here to go through. And if you use the screening query, it gives you that maintain screen. And so here you can say the selections you can give. You can say follow up due by a selected date, or I can say no contact since a selected date, or not sold since a selected date. So if I choose not sold since a selected date, I can say ones I haven't sold to since 1st of January this year, and see why. And I could, if I was one of the reps here, which I'm not, but I could choose, and because quite often I think rep equals salesman, so you'd be able to match that in. And you could just look at your own, and you've got all these other codes that we went through. So the CRM analysis codes, which was the sector and the loyalty, and so you might be only wanting to review your bigger customers. Maybe you've got your contact analysis, so you could say, right, actually I'm only interested in financial directors or something, and you can also do just a range of accounts. But if I say OK there, it comes up on the screen, and I can go into the first one, go into the first one, have a look at all this stuff, add, email, phone them, and make a note of what phone call was about, etc. And in fact, from within here, I can just move on to the next one. So I think that's probably quite useful for reviewing. It's the selection based, the follow-up due by a selected date is where that max review gap comes in.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, so, but at the moment we seem to have been regularly running demos of full extracts and things which are counted as contact, so I couldn't actually demonstrate that. And also you've got the ability here to send it to a report, which gives that information. So again, you could email that out to people to remind them to follow up. And then we move on to the mass ability to contact customers. So in this one, we've got the method of contacting them. Email, it defaults to, but email's less useful in this day and age, I feel, because you've got the ability to extract here as well, and that allows you to extract into MailChimp, who are of course software designed to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. If any of you use MailChimp, it's a free. If you Google it, it's worth having a look. It's a free email tool to allow you to email out HTML files. I use it for newsletters and things. Obviously with GDPR coming down the track, I've been using it to ask people if they'd like to continue to receive emails from prospects I've got. So, and there are all actually templates for that as well. So
I mean,
it is powerful.
Yes, I was going to say, because the limitation on our email one is that all you can do if you've got email selected, you can put a little bit of narrative in, and you can put an attachment. But who wants to open an attachment on an
these
email,
days?
really?
Yeah.
Whereas the MailChimp type option gives you a lovely colour, or singing or dancing, sort of within the body of the email, which is what people mostly want these days. Fax is only if you've got fax. Text is something where you could do a text shot, but you have to sign up for some specific text software, and to be absolutely honest, nobody has ever done so, have they?
I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, I think lots of people do their own thing with texting, but it's certainly there, and it's probably something we've never really pushed as much as we should.
I mean, I
but it's
presume
there.
you can do the extract and pump that
into whatever text software you use. So yeah, I think the extract is right. You're right. It's the key. It's using the system to get the information out you want.
The mobile would be in there.
Yeah, and then using what you want.
Mail merge is for if you're going to do a letter.
Yes. Yeah.
And you can have a template and do that. I'll leave it extract. I'm not necessarily going to get anything out anyway, but because I'm going to go through mainly all these different things. One of the most interesting, you've got all these analysis codes again. First of all, account analysis, CRM analysis, contact analysis. You've got selection by last contact date, so you can say, right, I want to contact everyone I haven't contacted since the date. And you can also refine it by the preferred method of contact. However, the more exciting bit is when you click on customer selection, you've got range of accounts, list of accounts, so you can import a list of accounts on a CSV, which is just a CSV with the account number in the first column, which you might have extracted from somewhere else in the system, some other credit control type list, or sales analysis or something. But you can also use, when I hit generate list of accounts, up comes another choice. And I can say account type is just whether it's, I'm not talking about prospect and non-credit really today, but those can be in there. Although non-credit is another account on here that can be just maintained. In fact, so I take that back. It's just the prospect I'm not talking about. Here, this gives you the ability to say, right, I want to do something for everyone who has Chepstow in their address, for instance, and you could send something to all your contacts who've got Chepstow in their address if you're going to have some event in your Chepstow branch.
If you're opening a Chepstow branch, maybe.
Well, yes, indeed. Yes, that's right. Yes, exactly. Indeed. And then here we go, last sale date. So we can say, we can choose for anyone that we've sold to since the date or not sold since the date. And then you can combine that with the products. And so you can say a range of products. So if you can say you're wanting to sell something that is connected to a product someone's brought. So if you've got a range of, boilers, I don't know, you could put your range of boilers in. So anyone who's bought a boiler since the beginning of January, would they like to buy something else? I don't know. Or maybe
anything. You'll know of the idea. I mean, fencing. Exactly. You might want to sell it. You want to do a well shot for Cuprinol, the favourite Cuprinol that we do. But I'm sure you could think of that. But I think that's
you can think of millions of things.
The ability to choose products and the analysis codes that you set up, those combinations is pretty powerful, I think, to actually generate. I think that's where it really works very well.
So when you choose, so if I did say not sold since the first of the third this year. Not sold would be because it's not sold. If I'd chosen sold.
Yes. Yeah.
But we don't know. We wouldn't have anyone if I chose. If I did choose a product range, we don't do enough on this demo kit, do we, to get anything
really.
particular.
No.
But if I say not sold, and I generate my list, then it's got the list in there, and when I say OK, it says, would you like to edit the list? And I shall say yes, I could go and have a look at it if I wanted and remove things, add any others in. But also, I thought it gave me the option to save my list.
Well, you got it in Excel, can't you? Just save it.
And so you're going to save it.
And then you can do what you like with it once it's in Excel, in terms of merge
so it's got all that information.
Yeah.
And it does have the mobile number, so it is suitable for text software as well as email. software.
But it could be that you just use that list to give to a rep to say, right, well, these are the people who've bought these product range in the last,
Yep.
give them a call, or haven't bought from us in the last 6 months.
Yep.
Go and try and go and see them.
Yep.
You know, it's whatever you want. I suppose today's really is to try and give you ideas about
Yes.
how you might use it.
That's right. And then what we do also have, if you do use that extract, is that you can get your feedback from MailChimp. Phil might be able to, you can get feedback on whether people have...
You can get reports and things about whether
Yes.
people have opened, you know, which ones have opened, number have opened and percentages and things. And I think
Right,
you can load
okay,
that.
and you could also, I presume, have a subscribe and unsubscribe flag
absolutely.
come back.
Yes, absolutely.
And so we've got this load update contacts, which at the moment, if I click on this help, has just, oh, no, I don't mean contacts. Sorry, I meant feedback. Oh, brain went for a moment. Load feedback, that's what I want to get. And the help here lets you load in the account number, contact name, some feedback text, so you can say whatever you're wanting to put in there. There is going to be from 27B, which is being sort of closed and prepared at this moment as we speak, a column D, which is going to let you update the subscribe, unsubscribe flag that we looked at earlier.
Yeah.
So it can actually take that contact and set them to no, which is quite a useful option, I hope. So that's all these ones, so the different ways you can use all your contacts. If you're trying to manage people contacting customers, there's a CRM activity report that you can do as a report or an Excel spreadsheet. You can say, right, okay, for a date range, so you can say, right, okay, during April, what did the different users of the system do? And you can literally just leave it like that and see all the different contacts that have been done, or you can hone in on a specific user. And so you can say demo, what the demo get up to. And you can also see, you know, whether any of these contact methods, whether you show the notepads for general or any notepads. And when you, let's see if there's anything, there must be something. Yes, oh, there we are.
Ah, busy,
and so it gives you, yeah.
Philip's busy, isn't it, as usual? So they're all the standard notepads are generated as well as there's lots, as well as the ones that have been put in. So again, I think we're having to play with once you're using it. Obviously, like any report, the information you start getting out starts to make a bit more sense. So yeah, have a play with that, I think.
Yes, exactly. There's also this, even if you're not using CRM, and if you don't use CRM after today, there is still, you could ask us to set up the CRM management report for you, which is a way of monitoring. We set this up specifically, so more often than not, it's just purely account analysis it's based on. And you can look at a month and you can say, right, I want to see all the accounts where there's been a decrease in sales, and you decide whether the decrease is over rolling 12 months or financial year on year, or just from month to month. It depends on what we've set up as in the background, and you can choose to include customers who haven't got CRM, and you can either do, as I say, you can do a Excel or a screen inquiry, and up it comes, and these are all decreased, but it's giving you the breakdown. The reason there's so many, this is a result of the type of file that it's based on. Sometimes it will literally just have sales, because this has got a number of transactions. It's got lots and lots of information on this one, but so you can sort of hone in possibly, and then in fact you can say, oh right, okay, so you know what's going on here. and you can click on this maintenance button, and hey presto, you're in the jolly old customer CRM maintenance screen, and you can do the ringing and the note taking and the etc. So that's just another tool.
I guess you could sort by some of those columns as well if they're screen inquiries.
Oh
as
yes,
well.
yes,
yeah, that's fine. Yeah, okay,
yeah. Yeah, I'm sure you can.
Yeah.
So you could do
Yeah. So if you want to home in, that's quite a good one. And again, as in all graphical and all the blue and white screens, if you did right click, you can put that information. If you want to put it into Excel, you could do that as well. So that's good.
So if you don't use that already, it might be worth finding out about. You can have that sent as an overnight, in fact, as well. So finally, I was just going to say on control files, there's two control files really. There's a control file where you need to remember to, if you are about to do CRM, this particular setting here for credit accounts, and maybe you want non-credit accounts as well, you need the system to update automatically. So as I say, from step one, from day one with CRM, you won't have contacts. But if this is switched on, as you add new accounts or you change and add contacts, they will be added automatically to the CRM because this is switched on. I think the default when we introduced CRM here was no, though. And none of the rest of that applies to CRM. And then we've also got CRM control files, where we've got CRM options, and this is where we can set to allow people to amend those. Remember we looked at the customer analysis codes, and I said we've got the system set to not be allowed to update it. You can also put some form of tolerance on the reminders. I'm not quite sure how that works, but it seems to work quite well with 0. If you're having problems with reminders, contact us. We'll give that some serious thought. You can also choose when you're doing a mass mailing to ignore, well actually the default is to ignore accounts which are on stop, but you could include them anyway. This is where all the text messaging thing is set up. And then this email option bit is when we were inside the contact and we were doing an email on the fly, and it said from myself, and it said from myself because this is set to number 2, which is said default to myself, but give the option to do another generic email. But you can have it set to always be from sales at if you wish. So if we change that to 1 and put a generic address in, it wouldn't give you the option to send it from yourself if that was a company policy. And so that, I think, is it. It's always very frustrating at these things where you just know that sitting there you've all probably got lots of questions, but you can.
I would say, I was guessing we would say that if you've got questions, because we can't hear you, if you have got questions, just drop an email to support. Have a look at, it's in graphical. Have a look at what we've had shown you today. Have a play with it. It's as Felicity said, if you've had a go before and perhaps you want to start with a clean slate, let us know and we can clear it all down for you.
And the other thing I've forgotten to say is that we talked about not having. I don't think I mentioned that in the beginning. One way of loading your CRM contacts in is in Sales Ledger. You've got the extract information to Excel. So if you extract the contact details using that option, then within CRM you can get a spreadsheet, you can clean off all the rubbish, you can make sure all your contacts are right, etc. And then you can use this load contacts option to load them back in. And we do have a sheet on the about that. So if you want that to be sent, you can.
So, as I say, any questions, come back to us by all means. Come back to support. Thanks for listening. As I say, we'll put this recording up on our YouTube channel, and I'll send you the links out to that as per normal. The next webinar we've got is in next month in June, 13th of June, where we're going to be talking about supply rebates, which I think will be quite a popular one as well. And we'll try and see how long that webinar takes to do. But, so again, thanks for listening and for your attention, and hopefully see you soon. Thank you very much.
Bye. Bye.
Thank you for watching this short tutorial. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact us on the information displayed on the screen for further assistance.